Marin was not afraid. He still had his magic brush. He waited until the prison guards were all asleep. Then he took out his magic brush and drew a door in one of the prison walls. "Quick, now's your chance," he whispered to some of the poor prisoners, who were only there because they have offended the overlord. "Go through this door. It leads to freedom." Too late, the overlord saw what had happened. He flew into a terrible, frightening rage and vowed when he finally caught Marin, he would severely punish the boy. He sent out a search party of his soldiers. However, by this time, Marin was safely hidden in the hut of one of his friends, for thanks to the good he had done with his magic brush, the boy had many true friends who were eager to give him any help they could. A whole month passed, and Marin was certain that his enemy, the fierce overlord, had forgotten him. One day his friend came to him saying, "No rain has fallen for many weeks. Our crops will die if they do not get water. Help us, Marin." Marin knew how serious this was for his friend and all the people who were counting on good rice crops. He knew too that rice needed twice as much water as wheat, for rice will only grow in water. So he said quickly, "Yes, I will help you," and he went out and painted a deep river on the hillside with his magic brush. Joyfully his friend summoned all his family to work the water wheels, and soon the life-giving water began to gush down the channel and over the parched rice plants. It was not long before news of how Marin and his magic brush had saved the rice crops reached the ears of the overlord. "I must gain possession of that brush," he decided. So the overlord again sent for his soldiers and promised them a rich reward if they managed to find the boy quickly. "Make sure he has his brush," said their master. The overlord's soldiers marched to the rice fields, for they too heard of Marin's miracle. And when they came upon Marin with his friends, they tied a rope around his neck and dragged him away. Marin kept a firm hold on his magic brush, and none of the soldiers dared take it from him. But the overlord was not afraid of the brush, and as soon as Marin stood before him, he took the magic brush away from Marin. "You would have been wise to give it to me in the first place," he snarled. "For daring to defy your overlord, you will grow old in one of my dungeons." And he ordered the soldiers to throw Marin into prison. Now this powerful overlord could do many things, but he could neither draw nor paint. So he sent immediately for the art teacher. "Take this magic brush," he told the art teacher, "and make me a tree with golden fruit." Trembling, the art teacher obeyed. He painted a tall, fine tree with large golden apples. Eagerly the overlord rushed forward. He was certain all he had to do was stretch out his hand and take one of the golden apples from the tree. Instead, he crashed headlong into the wall. The fine trees with its fruits remained just a picture. Angry and disappointed, he sent for Marin. "This brush is only magic when it is in your hands," he shouted roughly. "Make me a picture and I will give you an important position in my province. Draw me a hill of gold." Marin shook his head, and then he had a sudden idea. Silently, he took the brush and began to paint. "I said a hill of gold, not a sea," cried out the irate overlord as Marin's picture began to take shape. "That's coming next," said Marin, and he drew a glittering golden hill right in the middle of the beautiful blue sea. When the overlord saw that the golden hill was set in a sea, he asked Marin to draw him a ship so that he might sail to it. Hurry, hurry, he cried eagerly. I cannot wait to lay my hands on the gold. Swiftly and surely, Marin painted a noble dragon ship. Fearful that the ship would sail away without him, the overlord hurriedly told his attendants to follow him, and then he climbed aboard. But there was no wind to drive the ship forward, and the overlord shouted, "Give us wind! We'll hoist the sail!" Then Marin drew the wind, and a light cloud. The wind swelled out the ship's sail and sent the ship far out to sea. Seeing how the dragon ship rode the waves like a bird, Marin made black storm clouds with his magic brush and winds that reached gale force. As the waves rose mountain high and the ship's sails were ripped to shreds, the mast broke. "Help, help! We're sinking!" screamed the terrified crew. With the end of the overlord, Marin was now free to move about the countryside, and wherever he went he used his magic paintbrush to help those in need, and by giving happiness to others, he was always happy himself.